Literally, the last thing that we wanted to do is to close schools.
Is it safe for our kids to go back to school? I'm not so sure at the moment.
6 times the Prime Minister assured us that schools were safe.
Schools are safe. Very, very important to stress that.
The Prime Minister, for now, standing firm on his decision to schools.
It's a really frustrating and confusing situation for parents.
It's so important for young people to get an education.
On January 5th, England entered a third lockdown. With a new, more transmissible variant of COVID spreading, shops were boarded up, offices shut down, and, after continued messaging that schools were safe, primary schools, secondary schools and colleges in England were instructed to close their doors.
The government is once again instructing you to stay at home.
Parents, teachers and children adjusted once again to remote learning. But what are some of the biggest concerns, and how do school closures affect young children?
I have to say I was pleasantly surprised when we came back after the first lockdown. In terms of the children's sort of academic development, yes, there were gaps, but they did kind of bounce back quite quickly, and a lot of them showed a great deal of resilience. I think more of the social skills, they're kind of more of a worry when it comes to their development, especially with the younger ones, because reception, nursery, year one, that's a really key time for them forming their social skills, and that's, you know, the main reason that they're in school is to learn how to socialise. So for them, then it's a bit more of a worry than it is for slightly older children.
Sally, whose 5-year-old son is in primary school, says she is worried about his friendships and social developments.
We do what we can with Zoom calls with family, but he just doesn't. They don't get to mix with any other kids. Luckily, he's got a little sister, so they play and we play and we go out as much as we can. But it is having a massive effect on a lot of children. You know, they learn lots of skills from each other, and just that whole sort of friendship and just bonding and everything, and they are really missing out on that. So yeah, it's a massive worry.
I miss my teachers, I miss my friends.
Katie from Gloucestershire has 2 primary age daughters.
I know Julia, my 6-year-old, is desperate to see her friends and have that sociability aspect. You know, they're all quite keen to go back. But I have had the conversation with them saying, I don't think you will be until about March, just so we've got like an expectation. I don't think the reality has really hit with Maria particularly. I think she's still a little bit in denial that most of her year 6 is going to be spent at home. And I think Julia I think she's sad at missing her friends. I think she's going to find that hard, that sociability aspect.
Child behaviour expert Richard Daniel Curtis has said that in lockdown, schoolwork can come second.
The reality is that it's more important to keep a love of learning than it is to get all the schoolwork done. Because ultimately, from a psychological point of view, children are incredibly resilient. We do expect them to be able to catch up with kind of some of the lost educational opportunities that they've experienced as a result of this. By maintaining some kind of social network with relatives, with other friends, and it doesn't necessarily all have to be Zoom-based, or webcam-based conversations. Actually, things like making a postcard for a friend and sending it to them, things like that. This is all kind of just maintaining social competency during this period. It is just finding ways of thinking more creatively about keeping in touch with others, and that will help children just to kind of keep those underlying competencies there.
Experts are therefore stressing the importance of general play, engagement and basic learning from home. But still, it seems this is not easily accessible for everyone.
The main issue for our school is that not all of the children have access to the internet, or they don't have a device, or even if they do, they might be sharing it with other siblings at home. So just practically speaking, getting everybody online is quite challenging. A lot of children from a more deprived background might be having more of a hard time of it. They might not have a space at home where they can work, less likely to have a parent who's able to sit down and help them with their work. So all of these things make it a lot more challenging for them to keep up with what they're supposed to be doing.
Early years expert Dr. Helen Edwards has said that even the more basic tasks can help a child, regardless of their background.
In every home, sorting the washing, matching socks, doing any cooking, all that you can get lots of maths out of cooking, weighing and so on. Household things, if you're lucky enough to have an outside area, all sorts of things with nature, growing plants, seeing what's happening. Ask them what they see out the window, introduce a couple of new words of vocabulary each day, and watch a great TV programme that you enjoy together and talk about it. Don't worry about hours and hours of academic instruction. It's not going to make any difference, and it will make your lives really miserable. And you and your children will look back on this time and think what a stressful, awful nightmare of a time it was. So, give yourselves a bit of a break. That would be my message to parents.